Hello, my friend. This is Dr. Samuel Kisseadoo in Virginia. My wife and I, since yesterday, have been meditating on a scripture which I want to share with you and its implications. In Romans and chapter 11:29, it says, the gifts and calling of God are irrevocable. Gifts meaning that so many different types, and they come from God. Okay, so they are godly and spiritually inspired, spiritually oriented. So don't allow the flesh to make you add to, whether it's prophecy or whether it is exhibition of something or it's singing or whatever it is. Be careful how you add your own flesh to make people think it's spectacular more than it's supposed to be, or it is drawing attention to you instead of God. In James 1:17, it says, every good and perfect gift, perfect meaning you can't add to it, is ultimate. It comes from God, every good and perfect gift. Now the gifts stop operating when you stop operating the gifts. Because irrevocable, revoke has the meaning of nullify, to revoke. The impression is given that if your license is revoked, it means your license is seized. No, it means the power is taken away, the authority. So that they put a stamp on some letter or something of authority. Nullified, which means you can't nullify them. Even if you are not using them and they get rusted, and some of us have left some gifts for years. When you're on campus or when you were young, you're using it in the former church, former ministry, but now for whatever reason, you are chasing toys, you traveled overseas, and all your gifts, a lot of them rusted. Some are just going to church for going sake. But look at you today. It's very sad. Bring them back to life. Be spiritual with the word and prayer, and also gifts must go with a purpose. And the gifts usually are given to you by God. And based on that, He gives you the calling. See, I'm not saying that God can't call you, and whilst you are performing whatever it is, He will bring something extra or extraordinary into your life. That is God's decision. But what I'm saying is that the gifts are important because potentially we came into the world with it. Jeremiah 1:5, before you were formed in the womb, I ordained you. Ordained means by authority, you have been commissioned or appointed. It's ordination. You see, they are appointing you, commissioning you with authority of God, okay, for a purpose. Now, what God has for you to do goes with your calling. And here is not just preaching, teaching, prophecy, vision, being a missionary, and all that is what I'm talking even of. Okay, it includes that. But the calling of God to be a man, to be a woman, to be a parent, to be a child in that home, to be a teacher in that classroom, to be a student there, to have that roommate, to be added to the group, to be chair of the committee, planning of this and that. They are all calling. God has called you to do that. If at your workplace or whatever you find yourself, if you are selling in the market, it's the place for your calling. And you better witness and represent Christ, be an example, stop fighting and cheating. And other things, you have been called to do taxes, to be a politician, to be a doctor, a lawyer, a driver, to be an IT person. You have been called on to be on the radio and television and places. If you don't have that mindset, flesh comes in, popularity, money and things, and you appear before God and you didn't do it God's way to God's glory. So know your calling, go before God, do whatever you find yourself, an appointment given, and pray about it for God to lead you. Okay? Now, number one, it's unchangeable. So don't add all kinds of things. So whatever the situation, even if you resign in a church, sin comes and they remove you, or you're no more there, you have retired as a pastor, you have left the place, they won't make you play the keyboard anymore, or you are no more singing actively as you used to, the calling of singing and ministering is irrevocable. So be very careful how you relax and say others have taken over, and then you just sit there. If you're a mentor, that's different. So see how God directs you. But be very careful, because you don't retire from your calling God gives you, or you don't retire from your gifts. It may be in different forms as you grow older, but be very careful. It's unchangeable. But let that produce fruit of the Spirit, Galatians 5, 22, 23. Okay? Whatever you do as a calling, using talents and gifts, ensure it is producing godly character in you. Because if after you held a position of youth leader, associate pastor, musician, chair of committee, and you go on and you will go for crusades, these days I don't anymore, and it doesn't produce godly character of love, joy, peace, patience, understanding, humility, forgiveness, then you didn't allow the gift to do its work. Number two, it is potentially powerful. You are not the one who makes it powerful. So, number three, polish and keep it alive. Number four, that's number three. Number four, seek to use it when and where as God directs you. Number five, keep them active. Fan aflame the gift. 1 Timothy 4:14, do not neglect the gift. And 2 Timothy 1 verse 6, stir it up. Stir it up. And find out, therefore, what gifts you have and where you are asked to use them. God will lead you and direct you. Dr. Kisseadoo, call me on 1-757-696-7442 or call me in Ghana 020-812-6533. God bless you.